Hey everyone, this is my review of the Solarvore solar oven. This kind of oven comes at a few different tiers. Right now there's a sale at the time of recording this video. There's a sale for $199. It says that the normal price is $244, and then the higher end is I believe $289, which comes with a reflector and some pots and things like that. But the base model at $199, you'll get the stove and I think 2 pots plus the thermometer, but I believe it does not include the reflector. And with this, I would say that having the reflector is a must, because it just really helps cook a lot better. That's one of those things that I think is a non-negotiable with any of these, is that you have to have a reflector. Most of them include it, but this does have an option to not have it, I suppose. That if you're just trying to heat stuff that's already cooked or just doing veggies or something like that, maybe you could get away with it. But if you're doing any meats or using this a lot, you're really going to want to make sure you have that reflector. Okay, so I got the higher end one, where it had the stove, the reflectors, 2 pots, the thermometer, and then what's called a whoppy. And we'll talk about that here in a second. And it also came with a case, which I like when they include cases. So that's kind of a nice thing here. So I expected that this oven would do pretty well, and in my test, it was basically the 3rd fastest cooker. First was the GoSun Sport, which was by far the fastest. Then you had the All-American Sun Oven, and then this one was 3rd in terms of all the rankings. So it's a pretty simple setup. Basically, you have this plastic cover, and then you have the main chamber. When I was first looking at this, I was excited about it because it looked like it had really clean lines. It was going to be very easy to clean. One thing that I found was there's a lot of seams in here that I really had trouble, like sometimes getting things clean and getting things dry. Like moisture would build up in some of these things, and I just didn't like that. And then the cover here has like this, basically a piece of plastic that's just literally taped on, and you're supposed to keep that on. It came with a sticky note saying, leave this on, and basically what it does is it adds this extra layer so that it's like a little bit more insulative on it. So the plastic here is really nice, and the outer kind of container is real nice. The inside, it sounds like it may be an aluminum, I can't tell, it may be plastic. It's kind of tricky. But the thing, again, it's a seam. So there's a seam here that stuff gets caught in, and there's a seam under here. It's hard to see. So it's difficult to clean out the tray, I find. So how you set it up is you just put your stuff in there, and then you put that on top. And they have these little clips, right? It's hard to see, but they have clips here and here and here and here and down there. And I really didn't like this approach. I found these, they're hard to do. Like sometimes I had to really fuss with them, which I didn't like, and then they come off pretty easy. But I mean, they're important because you need this to seal pretty well. But I just didn't like that approach, how they did that. The things that they include with the kit, the 2 pots, they're pretty standard. I think it's actually the same company that does the Sunflare pots. They look identical. They're good pots. They comes with a thermometer, which I don't really use, but it's good for first time people. Plus I have like 5 of these now. And then the whoppy. So the whoppy, basically this is just a little device to help you pasteurize water. So basically you can heat up water to kill all bacteria and stuff like that, and this just helps you know when the water is ready. It has a little bit of wax in it, and when the wax melts completely, then you know it's been pasteurized. So, size on this guy here, without the reflector, 27 inches wide, about 18 inches deep, and I have it propped up, so it's about a foot tall on the back, and then on the front, it's like 4 to 5 inches on the front. So I want to talk about the case now. So the case, I really like the case. It's a good nylon. The zipper, you know, it's a zip up case. I wish the zipper was a little bit beefier of a zipper. And I don't know if it's a YKK or not. Let's look. Yeah, it's not a YKK, which I just like those better. They seem to it works fine. It's really me nitpicking on the zipper bit. I just like bigger zippers. But the case is really nice. It holds everything. And what's cool about this is you can take the pots, put it inside. You can put your thermometer and a few other little things, put the cover on, and then you put it all in the case, and it's all in one unit. I really do like that about this unit here. Okay, so let's get on to the next thing here, which is the reflector. Okay, so I really did not like this reflector. The materials that they use for the reflector are totally acceptable and everything, but it's the execution of it. First off, so you can see there's different parts. Okay, it's like kind of articulated. These are actually attached with zip ties. I mean, I was just really disappointed in that. And then I'm going to show you here. There we go. Okay. So that's how you put it on. And there's these little hooks, which you go down. There's a little hole in each corner of the case, and you just bring them down into that. Okay, and you gotta kind of watch it because these can pop on you. So, all right, like that, and I think we got one more. All right, so that is the reflector. You see, you can kind of take it off. The thing that I found with it is, even though I could take this off, there was a few times where, like, if you really jumble this, it will pop out of the corners and the whole thing will just kind of fall off. And that happened to me more than once. So I think, you know, for me, that's like the biggest drawback on this, is that this reflector I just really didn't like. You know, part of it is, you know, I don't like the attachment, the way that they do it. It's a little flimsy. I understand why they did these two parts at the top and bottom, so it can kind of fold up better. But this seam just makes it easier to fall off. And then zip ties, like, I don't know. I'm sorry, at $200+ you know, approaching 300, to use zip ties on it, I'm just not okay with that, especially kind of seeing some of the other things with this oven. So I would say that of all the ovens I did test, this would be the bottom of it. It performed very well. Like I said, in kind of speed test, it was the third fastest cooker. So it definitely does what it's supposed to do. I just feel like it's not as refined as some of the other ovens, and just there's room for improvement on this, especially at that price point. So like if I were to be considering this oven, I would either consider jumping up to the All-American Sun oven, or I would save my money and get the Sunflare, which won't cook as fast, but it's a lot cheaper. You can get the base model for 89 bucks, and you know, it breaks down to really small storage. This is just, there's just lots of little things that just I didn't like. Between the attachment of the reflector and the little clips to hold everything down, and then the seams made it a little bit difficult to clean. Overall, I was just kind of let down by this one, even though I had some pretty high hopes for it. Again, it's not a bad one. It definitely cooks well. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. So I'm going to show you now here, like, how it all packs up into the case. So first you got to pop off these, and the little springs, they're just like kind of fiddly. I don't know. So we're going to pop them off. Okay. And so that's why they kind of have the two sections at the top and the bottom, so that it folds like that. All right, I did want to show you the case because I think out of all of the cases, especially for the larger ones, this was the best case out of all of them for sure. Which is something to be said for, because these things are kind of, you know, bulky and stuff. So what's nice is you can take your pots, put it inside, any little extras, put that, you put the lid on it, and then the case, and you're gonna get this right. All right. And this is definitely a custom case because it fits this thing like a glove. And it has a spot for your reflector up here. Take your reflector, just like that. Okay, so now there it is in your case, and they have two nice handles here, and it's a pretty thick strapping, and they have like a shoulder strap, so you can, you know, you can carry this around. You're not gonna go backpacking with it, of course, but like if you wanted to bring it to the park, it's not completely inconceivable. Or if you're gonna be camping somewhere, you live in an RV or something, this is a nice little case. So I did appreciate that it did include the case, because a lot of them. So that's my review of the Solarvore Sun Oven. You know, there's a lot of good things about this, and there's some things that can be improved. I think that at this price point, that some of those things that can be improved really shouldn't be an issue, because there are such good options at similar price points on the market for this. So this has been my review of the Solarvore oven. Thanks for watching.